This is Prajakta, and actually, I have Aswant, also one of my colleague. We both would be walking you through the enablement session on MCSM today. So, quickly, what is MCSM? Yeah, so MCSM is basically one of the add-on tool with the Helix, you can say, which is basically Helix multi-cloud broker, which enables you to use the Smart IT or the newer PV-enabled console as a single point of management for incidents and the issues with the multi-cloud providers. What does that mean? When a service desk agent creates an incident in any of the ITSM consoles, from that console, the incident from this console and the BMC service cloud broker, it creates a corresponding ticket with the appropriate cloud service provider. So on submission of this incident, a corresponding ticket will be created in the cloud provider. Vice versa, when a developer creates an issue in an issue tracking system such as Jira or the BMC's cloud broker, it would create a corresponding ticket in BMC Helix ITSM that can be viewed in the again Smart IT or the PV enabled Smart IT console. So basically, both these products or both these systems, the uh, multi-cloud system and the ITSM system, can interact or talk to each other with the help of this application. Now, what all are the components involved in this integration? So, three high-level components we can think of. One is the actual ITSM as a application, which consists of various ticket applications or various ticket types like incident, work order, change. These are the various tickets which support this integration. How does this ITSM interact with the actual multi-cloud broker? So it is via the various integration platforms which we support, like IS, which is the integration service, Jitterbit or MuleSoft. Quickly, how this entire thing works or how these things get configured. So we need to do some configurations in the innovation suite. So Aswant will actually walk us through uh, or enable us what all configurations we need to do here. Aswant?
Yeah, sure. Will you be
Yeah,
the platform?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go to the platform. Yeah. So as project had told, we have the underlying from MCP. There was three underlying platform which getting used integration platform. One is the our internal PMC Helix integration services, and then the other two third party integration platforms such as Jitterbit and MuleSoft. Okay. So to make that enabled, we need to configure the multi-cloud broker application first. So as Projecta is already there in our innovation suite multi-cloud broker app. Okay, first we need to configure the vendors. Yeah, Projecta, can we go to the configure vendors?
Yeah.
Let's again, uh, not here, in the point two.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so and we can click on the manage vendor data. Okay, then you can select map vendor. Okay, so vendor is nothing but the cloud provider which Prajakta mentioned, like is such as like Jira, Azure DevOps, and ServiceNow, etc. Okay, so you can see the list of supported provider ticketing provider over there in this dropdown. So these are the list of supported third-party vendors over here. Okay, so if as a user I want to integrate with Jira, so I can select with Jira. I can say select Jira, and then you can provide some description like so it's a production or it's a test. Okay. Now we can configure it with multiple Jira. So suppose I want to if the customer is having multiple Jira instance, so he can name it to segregate the Jira instance. So he can provide some name like instance name, and then once he given the name, he can say that add mapping. So Okay, so this once what is the add mapping does is it creates a process name over there and then the instance URL, right? So this instance URL which we need to modify according to our Jira your server. So we have to replace the Jira server name with our URL and then only the Jira server name we need to modify it. Okay, so this will get used in our ticketing Smart IT console where we can see the URL will be visible, which will be easy to launch the cross launch the Jira ticket from there. Okay, and then the below sections. Could you please scroll down? Project.
Sure.
Let me scroll down. Yeah, so there's a display field mapping where we can have the list of fields which will get displayed on the Smart IT console. Can you edit that? Yeah, so these are the common fields from the Jira which will get displayed under the Smart ID. Okay, customer can customize it if he wants to do that, but out of box, these are the fields which will get synced from Jira to ITSM. Okay, and so as we told, there are multiple components involved, so we need to select which platform, underlying platform is getting used. Like, is it an integration service or is it Jitterbit or is it MuleSoft? Okay, so we can select that. Yeah. Now we can cancel this. Yeah. So we already configured Jira. Yeah,
Yeah.
we already configured Jira over there. Now can we go to the quick configuration guide? Once this
Yeah.
step is done, we need to go to the quick configuration guide, and then we need to if you see here, there are different types of use cases we have set it. So we can expand the DevOps integration. So you can expand it.
Oh,
Not
sorry.
there's a back button will be there below this. Yeah, I can expand the DevOps integration. Today we are just this demo we are looking only for that incident use case. Uh, we can select only the incident one and then say select next. So if you see the below one is the just a checklist type. There are nothing will be there as in the backend execution, but there is a defined filter criteria was there. Okay, so what does this is? So a user doesn't need to pull all the ITSM tickets to MCB. Okay, so he can provide a filter criteria. So only this specific ITSM ticket should be synced to MCB, and then it will get passed to the next underlying integration platforms. And also, when once we provided this priority though, once those tickets which is getting created in ITSM with priority though, that will get synced to MCP. Okay, so that's why this filter criteria we are setting it up. Okay, so this is the configuration is there in MCP side, and yeah. Once we set this, okay, so can we go to the next slide?
Yeah. Sure.
So for how to set this, we already have that doc URL over there mentioned over there. Okay, so once we set that MCB site configuration, now we need to add a category vendor name over there in the ITSM. Okay, so why it needed is so the underlying platform like a Jitterbit or integration service or MuleSoft, which will be used. It will identify so for which against which vendor we are going to create a cut a ticket. So whether it is Jira or is it Azure DevOps or something. Okay. So for that, we need to create a resolution categorization tier over there. Okay. So we'll go to this foundation operation catalogs. Yeah. Once we done, we will be we can search resolution category. Then we need to create a request as a request, and then we need to you can search it for it. Yeah, we need to create which vendor against for which vendor we are going to create, and then the categorization type three will be is it a bug for Jira, is it a bug or a story or something. Okay, so if you are supporting both bug and story, you need to add a two entries over there, like with the uh, request Jira bug, and then second entry should be request Jira and then story like that. Okay, once we have done that, yeah. Yeah, that's the configuration part we have done with it. Then we can
Yeah.
yeah, we can show the
Yeah.
demo for it.
Yeah. So actually, how this entire thing works is like in the beginning when we said, right, on the submission of incident, it will create the associated Jira ticket, and then the syncing of configured field like title or the fields which we have configured, the syncing happens to and fro. So that part now will be showing. So you come to the smart IT or the PV enabled console. You try to submit a new incident. And like we said, we need to match this criteria, which is the low priority. We had seen in the configuration, right? If this priority, low priority matches, then only it is going to create the associated JIRA and the resolution categories, which we just said. So under request, you see these were the categories, and I'll say bug. So basically on submission of this incident ticket, one of the Jira bug is going to be created. Takes a couple of seconds. Right. So now you see it says business rule created this ticket. If you scroll a little bit down, it will show you the associated Jira ticket. Now, and here is the way you can cross launch it from here. So this is the associated Jira ticket created. The next part is if you change something here, you change the title from, let's say, I'm changing the summary from Jira. So it gets synced to your actual ITSM ticket also, the incident. Now, if you refresh this, you see the summary has been updated. Whichever changes were done from the Jira ticket, it gets reflected or synced here. On the other hand, if you modify something in this ticket also, you said from ITSM, this also gets synced and reflected in Jira, right? So this entire thing works based on whatever configurations we have done. So this is a short demo we just wanted to walk you through. Coming back to the presentation mode. So when or how the external ticket tab shows up, what does that mean is in the incident, where do we see this external tickets and when does it come? So basically on incident submission, as we said, you should match the criteria you had defined. And if those met, then only the incident or JIRA or the broker ticket would get created. Now, how does this ITSM would know whether it's been successfully created or not? So there is some field called as broker vendor name on the ITSM ticket, be it incident or change or work order. So that particular field gets set with the actual broker category. For example, in case of Jira, that broker vendor name would get set with Jira. If it is ServiceNow, it would get set with ServiceNow. And the backend logic or the code on ITSM will see if that gets set, then only it will fetch or it will show you the associated broker ticket details. To display this entire section, actually, we use a predefined HTML template and which gets populated at runtime by the Jira ticket details. So this is how and when we show the external ticket tab in the ITSM. Uh, there aren't any custom workflows which are needed here. Whatever mappings or the configurations we have done, based on that, all predefined workflows are already there. For example, on submission of incident, there would be already some workflow, a predefined workflow exists, which creates the associated broker vendor ticket. There is also a predefined workflow which takes care of modification and syncing. And similarly, for rest all the applications or ticket types, it's already present. So there aren't any custom workflows which gets created at runtime.
Configure this? Will it be pre-configured, or it will be something that support or application team or the IS team has to configure it?
So it should be done by the customer itself. So based on, because this is the kind of it's as per the use case, right? Like a filter criteria or something. So they decide what kind of tickets that should be sent. So this will be done by the customer itself.
Okay, and while configuring, if we run into any issues or if customer has any challenge, then it will be the innovation team or it will be the ITSM team.
It will come to the multi-cloud broker application team.
Okay. With respect to the integration, when you were showing a demo, we saw that when you submitted a ticket from Smart IT, it was creating the ticket in Jira. So when it created a ticket, we noticed that there was an activity log printed in the Smart IT. But when there is an update that happens from the Jira to the ticket, I think you updated the summary or notes of that incident. So it didn't
Mhm.
print up any update. So is there any mechanism to get that printed? Because then there would be sometimes questions coming from customers like how the ticket is getting modified or the descriptions are getting changed.
So
If
for
you,
doing that, actually, okay, yeah, that's one.
sorry, you were saying that the update is not printed in a ITSM itself or in a
Now
Jira,
the
if that is.
activity notes to the right side.
Here,
Okay, so the test incident from Jira from ITSM is not getting printed. You are saying, you're asking here.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
So
I
this
think
will
it
be
is with
passed
a delay.
to no. It won't print. So it will get passed to Jira. So the thing
I think
is,
it is printed. That was just a matter of refresh. It is printed.
so this same notes will be there in Jira as well.
Okay, okay.
Like
So
this.
it is. So I think it was not showing up there when the data was added.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and
Pradipta,
the
is
link.
it some escalation mechanism or asynchronous mechanism through which the activity gets created?
Yeah,
No,
so
Saroj.
that's it's a kind of, it is the process it will create. So the MCB has the process which will whenever there is a activity happens, so it will identify and it will do that. It will add that
Okay.
workflow.
So is the IS process which does the job of creating the activity?
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And what are logs we would require? So basically, it's always a challenge to have issues investigated or troubleshooted when it comes to MCB part. There is like an understanding that the issue is from the ITSM end or it is from the MCB end, right? So what aspect or what logs would be helpful in these scenarios to review to identify actually where the problem lies? I guess we just talked about one field, broker name field, but apart
Yeah.
from that, what all logs that we have to investigate these?
Sure. From ITSM side, at least definitely the API filter SQL logs. Out of that, so basically, the ITSM filter, which does talk to MCB, for fetching these details, we make some REST call to MCB actually, and REST call response actually returns us this output as a REST call output as a various parameters, and which we print, as I said, with the help of the HTML template. So definitely, first thing is, if nothing is being printed here, two things you can check for in the filter logs. One is the broker vendor name is set or not. That you can check via report or any other way also to check that. And the filter which makes a REST call, if that is successfully returning the output, then it will get printed. That's from the ITSM side. You can get these things from the filter logs. Ashwant, anything from the MCP side logs? For example, if this REST call fails or something fails in
Correct. And
between.
so the beginning of the creation itself failing. So sometimes there will be we have set some qualification. It might not have triggered. That means it might not have synced to MCP. So in that case, we can check the MCP related filter logs. Okay, so means it will there are some filters defined for MCP. So that will show us whether the ITSM to MCP incident sync was proper or not. And apart from that, we can, once that is successful, then we can check the process logs in that my MCB application, which is a ticket brokering library. Okay, we in MCB uses the ticket brokering library, so that we can see the process. Is there any error has happened for that? Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, and then there is no error apart from that, and still we are not able to see this ticket creation happen. So there will be a possibility the underlying integration platform will throw some errors like either is a jitterbit or integration services. It might not able to reach to vendor or it might be down. In those case, we will create a. So can you go to the IS?
Sure.
Yeah, can we go to the error management? So we will create a records over here. Okay, so you can see the yeah, there is an error on the top menu for service dashboard and error management also, right? Yeah. In the error management, you can see the records which is saying which incident it was failing. Yeah, you can see this what is the error the underlying platform is showing that. So you can see before this ticket ID, this was the exception thrown by the underlying platform. That was that. It was like that. So you can see over here as well.
But how do we identify that this error is from the ITSM or is from the Jitterbit? If we understand the like a bird eye view, so ITSM is talking to Jitterbit or MCB is
No,
talking to Jitterbit. How was
MCB is
this?
talking. MCB is talking to Jitterbit.
Okay, so in that case, ITSM would be making a REST call, which would make a call or send out a payload to MCB, and then
Yes.
MCB would be passing that REST call to the Jitterbit to convey with the
Yes.
other multi-cloud.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
And when we are observing these errors, like how do we identify, okay, the problem is from the Jitterbit end? Because the error message, error text is there, but then as we know that it is a bidirectional flow. So how do we conclude or understand that the update from the ITSM to multi-cloud broker or it's a third party to the ITSM end?
Okay, so this for this right now this for in case of ITSM error, right, it will clearly call out this form. We can't able to do that. That's way we can identify because it clearly calls out this. This is from ITSM. We can't able to move it to resolve any permission issue. Mostly, whatever we saw, it's a permission issue or is the field mandate field was there. So you can clearly call out by looking at the error message, you could clearly call out this is from the ITSM side issue. But the other remaining, what are the error which we see is of from the underlying platform like integration platform issue. But there is no messages right now. We are talking like it's a Jitterbit issue or like that.
So typically, I would say from ITSM side, it would be usually, I would say it would be minimal chances of erroring out. Only thing is whatever as per the configuration, whatever fields needs to be populated while submitting the incident to match the qualification criteria. Make sure those are filled properly. Apart from that, I don't see there would be more chances of any failure or any erroring out reasons from ITSM side.
So where we could see that payload? So maybe like we have to fill or populate, let's say, certain set of fields. So in which log will it be process log or will it be the API SQL filter where we would see that, okay, these are the field values that are populated?
Okay, so in case of update from MCB to ITSM, right?
Yeah, I mean bidirectional, be it ITSM to or third party or from third party to ITSM. So I think the scenario would be more aligned to the ITSM update to third party only. So because we would configure the fields which needs to be passed, right? So what we are trying to say is, okay, there were 5 fields to populate by ITSM, but then there are only 4 fields that are populated. So is there any payload that we can see in the logs that will help us to understand?
Okay, so we can identify from the record definition over here. Okay, can we go, Pradita, can we go to the innovation studio itself? We will go to the ticket brokering library.
Okay.
No, not here. We have to go to the innovation studio homepage and then you have to select that ticket brokering library. Innovation studio.
Yeah.
And then ticket brokering library. Okay, so for each type, there will be a record definition over there. Can we search for incident? And select the checkbox or edit. Can we go back? Yeah, select the checkbox and then edit it on the top of the table. Above the table, there is an edit data of that. Right side. Yes. So if you can see this, all this incident was here. So we can check this payload. All the fields were synced over there. Yeah.
Okay.
So from this payload record only the other git repeat or it will fetch the data.
Got it. So record definition is what we'll have to check in order to identify the payload.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you expand one record and see what are the data captured? Okay. So is it more like a staging form or is it staging record definition or?
Maybe this is not like a staging. So this staging in the sense you are saying, is it?
I mean, data first comes to this record definition.
Right. Yes.
And from here, it actually goes to the HPD help desk.
No, so from there only it reaches here and then it will reaches to the integration platform. So then it will, when we are saying update from vendor to ITSM update, so we will updating this same record definition, same record, and then the corresponding process, maybe it will update the incident interface form.
Okay, but HPD help desk and this incident record definition, they are two separate entities, correct? Just to be clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There were some scenarios that I have come across wherein the notes goes disappearing. There were a couple of reports by the customer where the data was not showing up in the smart IT activity notes of whatever comments that are being passed. So do we know that if there are any known issues around this integration with respect to upgrade or with respect to maybe migration activities?
I'm not aware of it. So you are
With
saying that
respect to PWA, I recall there was one escalation, I think, in the last couple of months. and we
Yes.
created a Jira for that. And the Jira ID must have been entered in the escalation also. But this allow me a minute. Let me see if I can quickly find something.
And Ashwant,
So,
there are,
sorry to interrupt. So the notes you're talking about are the manually entered and not this the automated ones, is it?
I think in both scenarios, I mean, there were a couple of use cases that were reported, wherein sometimes the link in that activity note, which you see as LT360413, right, that seems
Mm-hmm.
to be populating a different URL and then it doesn't use to access the uh, ticket. Like I think you
Yes.
accessed,
Right.
right?
So that is so you are saying this right now it is showing like LT like that, and in some
Hmm.
other case we saw it like in the URL
Text.
format something, right?
Correct, correct.
Uh,
Yeah, that
so
was one. Then there
yeah.
was another scenario wherein the link was, configured differently. I mean, when you click on this link, it used to throw an error because the configured link was not correct.
So that's
Like,
what. So we need to
hmm,
configure it. So then the configuration we have shown that, right? So that the Jira server and it should be
hmm.
perfect. So that in that case, it might have. So if you see what is the URL, okay, so it's not showing. But the configuration time and the vendor data, we have shown that we need to give the instance URL properly. So if we provided wrong URL over there or we missed it, so then it will be broken. So clicking here, it will be broken.
Okay. And there was also a scenario wherein a customer wanted to populate additional information, like additional fields to show up in the activity notes. So do we know how we do that? Like in the activity notes, you just see the link to the ticket, but then they also wanted to populate data of some other fields in the notes. I'm talking about the right part of this ticket data where it says notes added from Jira ticket, right? And then it
Yeah,
says
right.
Mm-hmm.
following field have been modified or updated, and then they
So
wanted to
suppose,
print that
okay.
value.
Oh, you want to add some more fields. Okay, like
Hmm.
so if they have modified the description, that description field
Correct,
should come.
correct,
Okay. So
correct.
for that, yeah, project, can we go to
I think some
yeah,
flow would need to be defined for that, right?
no, the vendor, we have to go to the multi-cloud broker out in the configuration window. Can we go to the settings? Can we go to configure vendors?
Yeah.
Or manage vendor metadata? You can edit Jira, the first Jira itself. Okay, so can we put the vendor field mapping? I can edit it. You can minimize this field mappings. This is not used. The field mappings. Yeah, minimize it. So this. So right now it was specifically specified like this field ID out of box it was empty. So now if you're asking if you want to add like status, right now it was mentioned for summary and status. Okay, so if you change any status here, any status in ITSM or any summary from ITSM, this will get this notes will get added. So similarly, there will be a remedy to vendor to remedy fields. So can you come down?
Yeah.
So the same fields were mapped. So now if we want to add the description field also, we need to add that field ID for it. So that we will get the activity notes for that as well.
So
Uh,
in that case, it would be updating the activity part, right?
correct. Yes,
Whatever
yes,
fields you want to say.
yes,
And then
yes.
we also saw a component where we see the details of the Jira ticket in the Smart IT, right? If you want to add there the fields,
Yeah. Yes.
again,
So can
will there
we put?
be
Yes,
same
yes,
flow
that will
or
be.
it would be?
No, there will be a difference. So, Rajita, can we cancel this pop panel? Maybe we can close this panel. Yeah, now there is a display field mapping also. The same only. We click on the edit
Edit.
button. Yeah. There is a display field mapping was there. Okay, can we edit this? Okay.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
So these are common one will be remain same for all across all the vendors. So now below is the vendor specific. So this is for the Jira one. So you have to on the right side, what is the Jira field name? So the Jira dot. You have to first the user has to understand the Jira payload structure like REST API payload structure. So then only they can add it more like Jira dot field dot. They have that
Got it.
label like that. They can
Got
add
it.
it
Got it.
more. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So whatever we are doing is doing in the MCB configuration only, nothing on the ITSM forms as such to
No,
expose
no,
the fields or.
no,
Got
no.
it. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. On ITSM side, there was only one configuration of creating this
That too because we
catalog
are
entries.
creating based on this
Correct.
criteria.
Correct. Yeah. So that's all is the configuration needed on ITSM side. Rest everything is in on